And welcome. It is Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession. It is Friday, September the 26th, as we head into week 4 of the NFL season. One game in the books from last night, and we have a lot to do, and we have minimal amount of time to do it. So I'm going to be honest with you, as I always am. He said, what is he wearing around his neck? And this is an international, worldwide viewing platform. So we're in New York, and I literally just returned to our studios in Westchester, New York, from the Ryder Cup. So you say, okay, that's exciting. It was awesome. And I'm not even a huge golf guy. It was awesome. It is some event. It's like fired up, excited, passionate, as many adjectives as you could think to use. I say, all right, well, why are we abbreviated today? Because it is currently 1:02 Eastern, New York, right? I woke up 2:45 in the morning. I had to be on location by 4:30, an hour away from my home. So I am on fumes. And I do this show today for you guys because I love you, because I love the Giants, because some might say I have an obsession. That's why I do it. I mean, think about what a psychotic someone would have to be to wake up at 2:45, travel an hour plus, do a 4-hour radio show, come back, rush back in traffic around the metropolitan area, and all this for an 0-3 football team, a football team that has lost 17 of its last 20 football games. So I have to have an obsession, because only someone who's not functioning on all cylinders would be doing this show. But I'm here, and we're here. We have a lot to do today. We'll do a game breakdown, of course, locks of the week, fantasy, play 'em if you got them, and reason for hope. And here's the thing. The fantasy play 'em if you got them, and I explained this last Friday, I'm not going to give you, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's lazy. I'm not going to give you a Jamar Chase. That's lazy. What I want to do is find the under the radar second tier guys. Suggest getting those guys in your lineup to help you, because anybody can have Saquon. Like if I sit here and told you you have to play Saquon, that's stupid. If you have Saquon, you're playing Saquon. I like to go under the radar. Reasons for hope, we'll get into that as well. And because I think this is fair, because I'm a great guy, I was at the Ryder Cup and I brought something back for the guys. But here's the rub. I was only able to get my hands on one thing for two guys. It's a cool thing, I think, but I can't give them each. I can't saw it in half. So only one will receive a cool memento from the Ryder Cup. And we will figure out who, how, and when that happens in about 7 minutes from right now. All right, so let's get into the Chargers pass rush. Their defense is excellent. And we've heard a lot of conversation over the recent days of why would you trot Jackson Dart out there against the Chargers when next week, if you're the Giants, you could trot him out there against a much lesser team in the New Orleans Saints. I think there's multiple reasons and multiple rationales behind it, and I'll explain. Firstly, I actually think there's a chance that A, it's true, and B, that Brian Daboll firmly believes that Jackson Dart at this moment is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. So we talked to, I don't even remember. We had Pat Leonard on this week, but I've talked to Jordan Renan a bunch, and the consensus is that week 1, Washington, Wilson was brutal. Week 2, Dallas, Wilson was otherworldly. Week 3, Wilson was brutal yet again against the Chiefs, and the Giants put up 9 points. Well, what is it? Is it brutal? Is it unbelievable? Or is it brutal? Well, you say it's only 3-game sample size, so 2 one way, 1 the other. I'm not sure. I'm sure. The Giants are sure. And I think most people that have watched these games closely are fairly sure. Russell Wilson, and I think there was a time where he was one of the top quarterbacks in the entire NFL, that time has long passed. Russell Wilson is no longer an upper echelon quarterback. In fact, Russell Wilson is no longer a good quarterback. Okay, he's not. So I believe that this is it. Like, this is Brian Dable knows that there's massive trouble going on right now. He knows his job is hanging by a thread, and the understanding is either I can show that this kid is going to be really good, or he leads me to win games, because even at this moment, he's far superior than Russell Wilson. And I think part of the advantage the Giants have coming into this game, and it's not a lot because the Chargers defense is very good, really good. And their pass rush is, if not elite, borderline elite. And you say, uh-oh, that doesn't bode well, because what do I have on the offensive line? Now, Andrew Thomas gave you, 28 plays? We'll give you more, I would think, this week. And Illuminor has been good, but the middle three of that offensive line is really a major problem. But what's the one thing that Jackson Dart? I mean, there's probably a bunch of things that Jackson Dart does better than Russell Wilson, but the one that jumps off the pages, he's mobile. Like, the kid can move. We saw it. They had a package for him and started this whole thing based on the RPO. Well, now this offense will look a lot different. I think a lot this week, right? Because now the Giants actually have the opportunity to let him do some athletic things, and that wasn't something that Russell Wilson is able to do. There was a time where Russell Wilson could do it. He was very athletic, very mobile, very nimble, but that ship has sailed. So now you have to pass the torch. So is it they need to win games, or, and I don't know exactly, or the Giants need to show that Jackson Dart can be good? Well, you have never shown your own quarterback if you're Brian Dable here, right? You inherited Daniel Jones. Year one, I mean, there were T-shirts about, Dable and Coach of the Year, and he's so wonderful and all these things, and he was. But then he's had more Jones, tore his ACL. Tommy DeVito is Tommy DeVito. Tyrod Taylor is, for the most part, a career backup, and he never actually had his own quarterback. This is his own quarterback. This is his guy. He has the opportunity to show with his guy, with this team, what he can do. So now we wait, and now we see. Because if he can't, he's going to be unemployed. And if he can, he may. See, there's not even a guarantee that if he can show that this kid will be pretty good, that he's back. Because I don't know what the edict is. Remember, John Mara, in front of everyone, media members, you name it, last year, said, we need to win games. 3-14 is not good enough. Well, you're already 0-3. So do you look at the remaining 14 games and say to yourself, there's 6 wins on the schedule? That'd be 6-8 for a rookie quarterback with a very hard schedule. Does that happen? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it takes. And in some ways, I kind of sort of feel like the Giants should have extended, if they wanted to keep Dable and Shane. And I'm not saying I'm an advocate of that whatsoever. But if they had wanted to keep Dable and Shane, maybe the right thing to do was actually extend them last year. I'm not saying I would have done it. I wouldn't have done it. But how do you keep guys as a lame duck? So, for instance, if you're Joe Shane and you think your job is in jeopardy, are you going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau at the deadline if you could get a 3rd-round pick? Well, if your job's in jeopardy, God, no, because you want the next GM to have a 3rd-round pick. However, if you know that you're safe, yeah, I'll trade Thibodeau for a 3rd-round pick because I know down the road I'll need that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Chargers defense is very, very good. It's a real problem. All right, let's bring us to the game plan. Right, Dable, Kafka, what have they figured out? What will work? What will not work? How does it work with Jackson Dart as opposed to Russell Wilson? See, I really believe that Russell Wilson, and it's a shame, but he's an older quarterback. He's 37 years old. He's not big. He doesn't want to take punishment. He threw the ball away, took an intentional grounding the other day. The athleticism is really non-existent, and it makes you question. I think this is fair. It makes you question, wait a second, why did they sign him? If the leash was so short, what was the point of signing this guy who 3 weeks into his Giants tenure has probably taken his last snap as a member of the New York Giants? It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense, which in actuality does add up and does make sense because the Giants never make sense. They're broken. It's the same song and dance that we see this year that we saw last year. You wanted Cam Ward desperately. You were 2 losses away from having the number 1 pick and grabbing Cam Ward. But for some reason, John Mara needed to see a win in a meaningless game against the Indianapolis Colts. Why? And Drew Lock, who's not even here anymore, went out there and gave you the game of his life. So you win that game. It carries no momentum over to the next season. And here we are again. I want to see the athleticism. I want to see the mobility. I want to see them unleash what Jackson Dart hopefully is capable of doing. Because if not now, I don't know that Brian Daboll gets another chance. All right, so I have to be honest. My picks have been, to say underwhelming would be an understatement. They've been awful. But I don't think you understand why they've been so bad. Week 1, we had Baltimore. They led by 15 with 4 minutes to go, and they lost. That's a catastrophic loss. Well, hang with me now. Week 2, we had the Broncos. Last play of the game, they lead by 2. We're giving 1.5. 60-yard field goal from the Colts. No good. We win. Great. Hang on. They roughed the center. 15-yard penalty. Re-kick it. Good. We lost. And then this past week, of course, Rams getting 3.5. Dominating against the Eagles. Up by 1 with 4 seconds to go. Field goal attempt. The only way we don't win this spread is if the field goal is blocked and a touchdown is scored off of the blocked field goal. And what happens? Field goal is blocked, picked up, touchdown, we lose. So I know you see that 2-7 and you think to yourself, Dave, that is brutal. But we're literally that close to 5-4. So let's get to this week's week 4 picks. I'm going to go back to the well. The Rams are better than the Colts. I know that Daniel Jones has played at an MVP caliber level so far, but I don't think he's that level quarterback. They step up in class, right? Their first 2 games were home. Their next game on the road at maybe the worst team in the AFC in Tennessee. And now they go on the road to the Rams. If you go and you win that game, or you go and you lose by a field goal, even though you now fall to 3-1, I think you've done a hell of a job. I don't think they do. 27-20, Rams win the game, something in that area. So give me the Rams minus the 3.5. I know that Mike Evans is out. I know that 2/5 of the starting offensive line for the Bucs is out. Philly's playing with fire, man. I've said this from week 1. I know they're winning, and that's all this is about. They don't look great. So they're on the road in Tampa, 120 degrees on-field temperature is the expectation this week, and I get Tampa plus 3.5. Now, no Evans upsets me, but here's the thing. Baker Mayfield is at the point where he takes guys at receiver and makes them look good, whether it's Ibuka, whether it's Evans, whether it's Godwin, whether it's Otten, whether it's Shepard, you figure it out. But he seems to every single week. I'll take the Bucs plus the 3.5. And in what should be just a mighty football game on Monday night at 7:15, the Jets visit the Dolphins. The Jets have looked, week 1, they looked good. Week 2, they were blown out. Week 3 on the road in Tampa, they looked awful and somehow still had a chance to win the game at the end. They couldn't. Miami actually looked good in week 3. You're going to have the same issue with the Heat down there in Miami. I think the Miami offense is enough to get them the victory. I'll take the Dolphins and lay the 2.5. So that's our picks. Rams, Bucs, Dolphins. We'll recap that. We'll recap 2 of the 3 of them on Sunday, and then the last one on Wednesday, and hopefully start to turn some profit and get you back in the right direction. All right, Nico, I'm going to need you right now because here's the thing.
Yes, Dave.
How you doing?
Hi.
Good. What's wrong?
What?
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Okay, great. That's good to know. Steve. Uh-oh. Where's Steve? Did Steve break the camera?
He's right there.
All right, because they've said you have a face for radio. Good. So there you are.
Face for radio.
Yeah. So Steve, firstly, what do you guys feel about me? Nico, how do you feel about me?
I'm a big fan of you.
Big fan of me.
Yeah.
More or less since you've met me?
More since I've met you.
Steve, big fan, small fan? What kind of
Definitely
fan?
way more.
Way more. So you've met me and have kind of fallen in love with me in a professional relationship,
Sure, we'll
of
say
course. Yes?
professional. Sure.
All right. Well, I have gotten something from the Ryder Cup for you guys. But here's the thing. I tried to get 2 of this thing. I could not. I could only get 1. How do we figure this out? Here was my thinking. Rock, paper, scissors. A good old-fashioned game of rock, paper, scissors. Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So here's how it's going to play out. You're going to play. You guys are in another room. The winner is going to walk in, and I'm going to hand you this gift from the Ryder Cup.
Camera right here.
Yeah, right on camera, right in
Okay.
front of us. I want Nico, you're more verbose. I want you to do live play-by-play of rock, paper, scissors. As you guys get ready, I want to let you know you can subscribe now. Spotify, Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession. On Instagram and TikTok, DR Giants Obsession. On Twitter, it says X in front of me. I hate saying X. It just doesn't sound right. On Twitter, DRNYGO. We looked right before the show, Nico. This is true.
True.
922 subscribers on YouTube. Once we get to 1,000, a Giants mini helmet, personalized and signed by yours truly, will go out to a randomly selected person of the 1,000 subscribers. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay. Are you guys ready
Yeah.
for a maybe a life-changing game
So clarify.
of rock, paper, scissors?
Paper, scissors, shoot. Not says.
No, it's shoot.
Just wanted
It's
to make
on
sure.
shoot. We're going on
All right.
shoot.
On shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is agreed upon. On shoot. Can you guys handle this like gentlemen?
Yes.
2 out of 3.
Okay. 2 out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and begin.
Ready?
Ready. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That was pathetic. Forget.
It's
Who won that?
delayed. It's
What do you want
delayed.
me to do?
It was pathetic.
I won
Yeah,
that.
he
Why-
is
Okay.
No, it's pathetic. Do it properly. I'm not going to give away this item to guys that are half-assing it on the show. So bring
Okay.
your appropriate energy. I mean,
All
it's
right,
just
let's do
2:45 in the
Let's
morning,
go.
and you guys do it
Ready.
right.
Okay, we're ready.
All right,
Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
better. Who won?
Tie.
Tie. Great. Do it again.
Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, he's
Okay.
winning.
I win.
Nico's up 1-0. Nico for the win.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Tie. 1-0. Nico.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn, I
That's
knew
it.
I'd
Let's
go
go.
scissors.
Nico, come on
I
in.
should have just went rock.
Nico
I went scissors every
is
time.
the winner. Congratulations, Steve. Sit back down. Admit your loss like a gentleman. Hang on, Nico.
Yeah.
I want you to look at the questions in the comments because we're going to go to them in moments. Get ready to pull them up and throw them on my screen. Find your way over here. Now, I'm not going to say kneel before Zod because I
I
don't
will
play
kneel.
like that. No. But here is what I have procured for you from the Ryder Cup. It's a hat, Ryder Cup 2025. This is the first time in 70 years the Ryder Cup has taken place in the tri-state area. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are an elite rock, paper, scissors player.
I am.
Elite.
I mean, that's
You
what I
want
do.
to say something?
Sure.
You want to grab a mic here? Speaking of the mic, what do you want to say?
I gotta get down here.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I
Say to
wanna
the people.
Thank my family
Uh-huh.
and my friends, the academy.
Put the hat on.
Put the hat on, you jackass. Oh, Steve, I gotta be honest. It looks unbelievable.
It
Oh,
does.
it-
It, really
It's
does.
gorgeous.
It
Do you
does look
intend to
really
leave the
nice.
sticker on?
I'm gonna leave. No, I'm not. I'm gonna take the sticker.
Sticker off?
I'll wear this the rest of the show.
Don't ever take it off.
Never.
Where's the
Ever.
rest of
Like
your life?
when your future wife is in childbirth, leave it on.
Okay.
When your child is being like whatever they do, I don't know what to do in the different religions. Leave it on. You're in church, leave it on. Baptized, leave it on.
I'm here.
Walk your daughter down the aisle, do it with that hat. There you go. Look
Right
at-
there.
Look at this. Look at that. All right, you're a winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Steve. As the loser of rock paper scissors, you can rifle through the comments and the questions. What do we have today?
Woohoo.
What do we have today?
I got one right here for you. Pull this up.
All right. For some reason, I can't really hear you. Brandon
Yep.
G, how do you think Dart? I can read it. You can just throw it up there. How do you think Dart plays on Sunday? Predict his stat line. How am I going to predict his stat line? Here's what I'll tell you. I think he's going to wind up throwing 25-ish times, and I think his completion percentage is high because I think they'll be very safe and throw a lot of underneath stuff and not really go deep downfield. So I'm going to give you, write this down. All right, Nico, you write this down because you're the big winner and you're in a good mood.
I'm ready.
I'm going to give you 18 of 26, 1 touchdown, 1 interception for 154 yards. And on top of that, 38 rushing yards. Okay? You got it?
Yep.
Repeat it back to me, please.
18 for 26.
Yep.
1 touchdown, 1 interception for 147 yards.
I think we said 54.
54.
154 yards and 38 yards rushing.
38 yards rushing.
Okay. Steve, what else do we have question-wise here?
Got another one for you.
If Dable goes, I don't want Shane staying. I actually want both to go. Yeah. I think everybody would agree with that. I don't think there's any groundbreaking, commentary there. And what I do not understand, and we've talked about this a lot, why are they so linked? Like, why are they not linked? Like, they came in together. Shane hired Dable. If they go, they should go together. It's not like you could say, well, here's the thing. Talent-wise, they're really very close, and Shane's been so great, but it's the coaching. No, they're a disaster. They're an absolute disaster. And if one's going to go, which he should, then the other should go as well. All right, Steve, what else you got? Anything else?
From Sal Muscles.
Sally Muscles. I like him playing against a good team, especially at home. It'll be a good learning experience for Dart. Listen, the time will tell. I think there's something to be said for you go up against the Chargers this week, and then the Saints next week could be an easier landing spot, but he could go out there and be awful. He could go out there and look really good. This is not easy. The one thing that I do find to be quite a bit frustrating / annoying is we keep getting remember what they did with Eli Manning. Firstly, you guys weren't even born, right? Or barely born when Eli Manning was starting in the NFL. That was 2004. So we're talking about forever ago. And if you remember, and you guys don't because you were barely born, the Giants were 5-4 when they inserted Eli Manning into the starting lineup. Now, he didn't play well and only won 1 game the rest of the way, but they haven't won 5 games in over 2 years of football now. So the team that Eli had in 04 is a far superior team to what Jackson Dart has at this very moment. Anything else, or do we move on to look at the defense here? We have another one. Here's what I see. This is how bad my vision is right now. Colgate Caruso, but I imagine it's not Colgate Caruso,
Close.
right?
We'll give it to you.
All right. Not saying it will result in a win, but I do believe the offense will come out looking different this weekend. I agree with that. I do. And I said it earlier, and I'll reiterate it as we move forward here. I think the Giants are going to be much different because now they have a quarterback that's mobile and a quarterback that can get out of the pocket and, has legs and they can do an RPO. They can't do that stuff with Russell Wilson. So I do feel much better this coming week with Dart, just his skill set than I have in the past with Russell Wilson. Boy, I got to tell you, man, Giants defense, they have their work cut out for them. Justin Herbert has really kind of put himself, and thanks for that, guys. I appreciate your help and congratulations again to Nico. But what does the Giants defense need to do? And that's, how do you slow this down? Now, Najee Harris out for the year. And I was watching that game closely last week against the Broncos, and they were down early and came back. Najee got hurt, and it felt like once Najee got hurt, there was this boost of energy for Amarion Hampton, the rookie out of North Carolina, as if he was saying, all right, now there is nobody else. Now there is no, if I'm not great, there's a proven really good NFL running back behind me. Now it's, if I'm not good, there's nothing. And he was much better after Harris got hurt last week. So he's a problem. Herbert's a problem. But here's where you really want to watch closely. He took a lot of punishment from Denver last week. Now, I know Denver's defense is good, but the Giants defense is supposed to be good too. And the strength of the Giants defense is supposed to be getting to the other quarterback. So if the offensive line doesn't play well for the Chargers and the Giants defensive front can actually play well, maybe, hopefully, they can make some impact here. But again, it's the same thing with the running game. You slow down the run, and then you can kind of pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. It's discipline. All right, we've talked about this over and over and over. Carl Banks has talked about this on this very program. We know it We've been there. We've done it. But we could talk about it till we're blue in the face. If you don't practice what you work on all week, it's not going to matter. Like, you have to actually put it into actuality and bring it to a game on Sunday, because you can worry about keeping contained. You can worry about matching up with Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson, who's become a really good weapon for the Chargers. But if you can't do it on the field, the X's and the O's on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Giant Stadium, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good or bad Shane Bowen is. It doesn't matter how good or bad Brian Dable is. If you don't do what you need to do on the field of play, it will not make a difference. All right, prediction time. Not necessarily with the game. We'll get there in a moment. 3 things that will happen on Sunday, okay? 3 things that will happen on Sunday. Guys, if you could throw that up there, beautiful. All right, Jackson Dart. All right, now, as great as last week's predictions look to me right now, if you could bring up this week's predictions, that would probably be better, okay? So we'll wait on that. We'll give you a prediction for the game in a moment. Fantasy football, guys that you want to get in and play, reasons for hope as well this Sunday. So, do we have this week's week 4 things that will happen against the Chargers on Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern? Yes or no? Do we? Do we not? We wait. We wait. I can hum the theme of Jeopardy.
Trying to pull him up right now.
If you guys would like. You know what we'll do? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you my fantasy projections, and guys you want to get into your lineup. They'll work on getting the graphic for 3 things that will happen Sunday. So this is an ever-evolving dynamic on this show, and it's quick and it's live, and sometimes there's a misstep, and we run right by it, so don't even worry about it a little bit. Fantasy football. So again, these are not guys that are the obvious plays. These are kind of the, oh, you know what? I have him on my roster. Maybe this is a good week to play him, or he's available in my league. Maybe this is a good week to play him. Let's start with quarterbacks. All right, Mahomes, which feels like, saying it, the dumbest thing in the history of like entertainment. But Patrick Mahomes is, quite frankly, almost unplayable now in fantasy football. But they have a good matchup. All right, it's the Ravens. Their defense stinks. Their pass rush is almost non-existent. He's going to have, I would say, 250, 2 touchdowns plus this week. You can play him. Jordan Love, this is, you talk about a dream spot. This is the defense that makes the pedestrian quarterback look great and the great quarterback look like Joe Montana. Well, that's the Dallas Cowboys, right? 2 weeks ago, they made Russell Wilson look good, who's now benched for ineffective play. Last week, they made Caleb Williams look good, who at best people think is an average NFL quarterback with a lot of question marks. And this week, Jordan Love, who's good to begin with, gets that defense. Yeah, I think Jordan Love has a monster week. And lastly, Bo Nix. Bo Nix at home, Bengals defense, they're 1-2. I think he starts to make some plays. I think this is the week to get Bo Nix into your lineup. Now, if you have Josh Allen, I'm not saying start him over Josh Allen, but if you're uncertain and you have the 10th or 12th best quarterback, I think there's a realistic reason to get Bo Nix into your lineup. All right, so that's quarterbacks. Great. Let's move along to the running back position, guys. If you'll just flip it, and then, of course, we'll get to the predictions, the things that will happen this Sunday in the Giants and the Chargers. Running backs, A-Chain is a great play this week. The Jets' run defense, not good. Miami needs to put up points. A-Chain can become a factor in the passing game as well, and he's the guy that anytime he touches the ball can take it to the house. I like A-Chain Monday night against the Jets. And again, Jets are without a couple of their better defensive players as well. We talked about Amari and Hampton. Listen, just because it's against the Giants doesn't mean I can't give you that advice to play him. It's a good start. It's a good matchup. He's looked much better once Najee Harris went out, and there's nothing else. It's not like if Hampton's not good, we turn to this guy. There is no this guy. Hampton's going to have a big week, even if he's not crazy great, right? If he's the guy and he gets 24 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown, it's a good week. Hampton, certainly. And Josh Jacobs has been very quiet. I know he scores touchdowns almost every week, but Josh Jacobs has been very quiet so far this season. I'm confident that changes, much like Jordan Love will have a big game against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense is awful. They can't stop a nosebleed. Josh Jacobs this week is a really, really good play. All right, moving now along, wide receivers, and then we'll go tight ends, and then we'll go what the Giants can do this week to make things successful for them at home. Wide receivers, I really like Cortland Sutton. Caught a long touchdown last week. He's a home run threat, is what he is. And the Bengals defense is not good. I look for him to have a good week. George Pickens. So I like Pickens to begin with. Now, CeeDee Lamb is out for at least probably 3 to 5 weeks. So not only is Pickens going to be, because it's the dream scenario, right? Pickens is pretty good. Pickens is very reliable. Pickens is playing for a team that he was the number 2 receiver on. He's now the number 1 receiver. And Pickens is on a team that can't stop anybody. So what do the Cowboys need to do? Score points, ipso facto, play Pickens. Jacoby Myers, I think, is an interesting play this week. Raiders against that Bears secondary. I think he'll do well. Gino has a connection with him. And I don't know if he's traded or not at the deadline here, because I know he's unhappy playing with the Raiders. So he's certainly on the trade market as well. And another guy that you might want to get into your lineup this week is Jacoby Myers with the Raiders. And lastly, if you would bring up the tight ends, which a week ago from today, we forgot, and I got scolded. I will not make that mistake again. Bring up the tight ends. Njoku. See, the thing is, Njoku and Fannin, you could almost play them both. That's how good the tight ends are in Cleveland right now. And you have to figure that Detroit's going to put up at least 28. Well, if they need to put up 28 to match them, what are the weapons they have? Jerry Jeudy, certainly. And Njoku will have a good game. Juwan Johnson, Saints. This is, again, how many points are the Bills going to score? And how did the Saints answer? And how much garbage time is there? Garbage time is a fantasy owner's best friend. Remember that. Juwan Johnson, really good play. And Hunter Henry, who went off last week against Pittsburgh, another really good matchup. This week it's Carolina. Their defense, I know they were good last week. They're not good. So that is certainly something I would look into as well. So there you have it. I gave you a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. All right. Now do we have 3 things that I believe will happen this Sunday? Let's hope. Let's pray. Let's be desperate. Is it here? Keep your fingers crossed. And there it is. Now, this is week 4. But you know what, guys? Oh, you said it says Dave's week 3. No, Dave's 3 predictions. Okay, good. You got it in line. Great. Giant offense can be way more aggressive. Way more aggressive. There's a lot of things they can't do with Russell Wilson that they'll be able to do with Jackson Dart. So I think that, and this is it. Like at this point, Brian Dable's dead man walking. So you have to think he's going to leave it all out there, push his chips to the middle of the table and be like, all right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Here we go. That's one. Scatterboo will have 17 plus touches this week. There's no Tyron Tracy. I know Singletary is the definition of average. I expect Scatterboo rushing and receiving to maybe even approach the 20 mark. The one thing that worries me about Scatterboo is he's so crazy aggressive and takes punishment almost more than any running back I've ever seen. And that worries me down the road for A, his Giants career, and B, his life after football. It runs in such an aggressive manner. And lastly, and I mean, you could probably say this about any week with the Giants, get to 21st, right? Because how many times are the Giants, because I think the defense is decent and they don't really score much at all. So whoever gets to 20 has a huge, huge advantage to win this game. So those are kind of my 3 predictions in this one. We'll see if they come true, how they come true, and we'll look at that on Sunday and then into Monday. And then lastly, hope. Hope is an interesting word because it's what pushes you to believe in something where for the most part, there's not a lot of reason to believe. So I wrote down my top 3 reasons you should have hope for the Giants this week. Number 1 is Jackson Dart. His first ever start. The rookie was great in preseason. They feel it's time to rip off the Band-Aid. Reasons for hope. Number 1, Jackson Dart. Number 2, also Jackson Dart. We've waited a long time for this. Brian Dable has not had his own quarterback. We've dealt with Tommy DeVito. We've dealt with a banged-up Daniel Jones. We've dealt with Tyrod Taylor. We've dealt with Jake Fromm. We've dealt with things we shouldn't have dealt with. So my number 2 reason is also Jackson Dart. And number 3, just to be consistent, again, is Jackson Dart. It's exciting. I sat here on Monday and said to you, I don't care what it is. I'm not getting hooked again. Guess what? It's Friday. You're hooked, and I'm hooked, and he's hooked, and he's hooked. And why? Because there's hope. And number 3 is Jackson Dart. as well. Let's hope that the Giants give you a hell of a performance this week against the Chargers. At least the Jackson Dart can find a way to make it look competent, maybe even good against a really good football team. All right. So there we have it. This is what we do. We'll say goodbye for now. We'll be back on Sunday right at 7:30 till 8 o'clock. And then we'll send you on your way for the Sunday night football game, which is Cowboys and Packers. Like I saw it pop up there. Throw it back up. Like us, because we like you, and you should like us. And subscribe. Like I told you when we started, 922 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We get to 1,000, and one of you, and you see I'm very generous, as you just saw with the hat from the Ryder Cup, one of you will receive a Giants mini helmet signed and personalized by me. You got to be in it to win it. Follow us. Spotify, Dave Rothenberg's Giants Obsession. Instagram, TikTok, DR Giants Obsession. Twitter, DRNYGO. They're 0-3. The season, for all intents and purposes, is over. But there's hope. Enjoy the game. Let's go Giants. Back 7:30 Eastern Sunday night with another edition of your favorite YouTube show. This has been, and will continue to be, Dave Rothenberg's Giant Obsession. So if you like that live stream, check out this video or these other live streams. And for the love of God, subscribe to us on YouTube. It'll be the best decision of your entire life.